Wolfcastle, I hear you're making some real progress. You got your man, or even woo man?
Buddy, I don't know. I just think I'm not cut out for this line of work. I'm just a singer without a song.
So not much of a singer at all then. Look, Wolfcastle, you have to stick at this. You know, maybe this is your calling in life.
No, I thought I had a calling once. I was playing a gig at a hotel in Vegas, Las Vegas, America. And, I suddenly thought I heard the voice of God himself speaking to me, saying...
Why not get yourself a job as a valet, parking people's cars in the basement?
How did that work out for you, friend?
Not so good, I'm afraid. I quit after a couple of hours when it turned out the place didn't actually have a basement. What the heck did I do with all those people's cars? Long story short, I could never go back to that state. There's a friendly croupier there looking after all the money I won, an unfriendly one looking for all the money I lost. You know, I sometimes wonder if those guys ever met up.
So, who was the murderer?
I have a few suspicions, Mark. I figure it might be something to do with doors.
Excuse me, fellas. I couldn't help but overhear some or all of that last conversation.
Lady, I do not have your card.
No. You said something about doors.
Doors? Are they coming back? Give anything for...
Guys, settle down. A door. Me and the venerable bluesman here, we're just having a game of Cluedo, weren't we, Wolfie?
Oh, yes. I think it was Miss Scarlet, the bar, the large club-like objects.
Ah, you know, I was thrown out of a large club-like object. No, that's not right.
Let me refresh your glass while you think it over, Wolfcastle.
Oh, no, I never drink when I'm on duty, and I just remembered that I promised the vicar I'd drive him home tonight.
But you've been drinking all evening.
No, I have not.
Come on, Wolfcastle, I've got a bottle out back especially for you.
Well, you know how I love to collect bottles.
I built a ship in a bottle once. It sank.
Quiet, Clancy. It sounds like Wolfcastle might be onto something.
Bottle collecting is a great Mexican idea, and it can be very dangerous weapon when combined with an inquiring mind.
Say, I've got an inquiring mind. How about that feature in my paper?
And what paper do you work for?
A4.
Now, quiet, you two. This game of Clue is really taxing my brain.
Now, you Americans get taxed for everything. In Soviet Mexico, our government gives us benefits. Benefit of the doubt.
Surely the land of liberty, Mr. Key, but I digress.
Too much thinking, who did the crime? Can I get this finished by closing time? Lots of possibilities, too many clues. I got to finding out the murderer and stopping the blues. Was it Kathy McGuire with a notepad and pen? She put it in a paper before she killed again. With no notes to write about, she stuck writing reviews. I got them working out the murderer and stopping the blues. Was it Ron Clancy, the drunkest clerk in town? If he were a stray dog, I'd return it to the pound. It doesn't seem that likely, but he's got nothing to lose. I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues.
Murder's such a travesty, they're fearing for their lives. Who will pass to work it out before another dies?
Could it be the barman? He seems a nice guy. Could murder be the glimpse that twinkles in his eye? Is it all he does is peddle booze? I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues. Or Lee Harvey Oswald, when he done it again, striking fear into the hearts of mortal men. There was no grassy knoll, there a sniper in the news. I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues.
Murder's such a travesty, what about Criminal's Booth? He was quite a villain and cut me down in my youth.
What about the waitress, dear Mr. Towel? Has she the look of a murderer? She's quite a pretty doll. She's covering something up while justice takes the snooze. I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues. Orphan and will be a bookkeeper by skill. Is he the kind of Mexican who'd really want to kill? He's got assassination plans to give him his dues. I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues.
Murder's such a travesty, they're fearing for their lives. Will they all be hunted down with guns, pikes, and knives?
Yes, murder is a tragedy indeed. One of us has killed a man, but even if it be me. Who killed Martelli? I only wish I knew. I got to working out the murderer and stopping the blues. Soft upon my ears, I hear a dreaded scream. Another life being lost, unrestricted and seen. I feel like it could be you. they're working out the murderer and stopping them blues.
He's got that! He's dead!
Bliss,
Nearly dead.
Speak to us. Who did this terrible thing?
Guess McGarnagle failed.
What do you mean, Fliss?
Death is but a door.
Fliss? Fliss! Now who's gonna help out at the old folks' home in the wintry wastes of Christmas season?
Now, who will empathize with my kids' illiteracy?
Now who will love the cup so I don't have to?
I guess we'll all have to love the cups now.
Good God, no!
Except murderer can't love cops. It wouldn't make sense.
Maybe it would, Fernando, but in a way that only poor dear Miss Fatale, with all the love she had to command, could ever possibly have explained to us.
But yet we must go on, fighting crime. Miss Patel would have wanted it that way. Plus, it'll make my papers of witchery a little more feel-good if we all pull together so we can string up this murderer before it goes to print.
Looks like she was beaten to death with some kind of wrench or a giant club.
And you know what this means. She can't have been the murderer, but she seems so dangerous around the edges, the hints of doors, all those dead cops. It must have been a coincidence, which means the real murderer must have been...
Can you repeat that last one?
Who was the murderer? It's near closing time. I need to solve this.
Buddy, we got plenty of time. Time enough for me to tell you who did it. It's Sam.
Martelli was beaten with a giant club within what Johnny Englishman might just call a pub. But that was sitting on a secret, I don't think it was her own. Who would kill the silencer when she was alone? One of us is killed, one of us is alive. In a moment I will say who will spend some time inside. Yes, time is running short and the hourglass fills with sand. But before I say who done it, I will introduce the band. Gemma Luck on drums. On bass. Danny Lawrence on guitar. Fernando you will kill, but it won't be today. Lancy will just kill himself and take the time away. Kathy chasing secrets Patel had some to keep, but it not through murder reporters make us weep. But buddy, I believe this bar is yours. Would I be right in thinking that your office has a door? Poor old Patel being tender with a bar. Surely a bartender would know what such things are. Yes, you, Buddy Nixon, I think you're a crook. Stop the presses, Kathy, you should write a book. Murder was a process that he hid behind his eyes. And he's Governor McGonagall hidden in disguise.
How did you know my secret?
I took a wild guess, but thinking about it, it all makes some kind of sense and draws complete conclusion to the entire affair.
He banned the doors and remembered his secret love for them.
So you forged a false identity so you could engage in the illicit trade indoors. And every time someone walked too close to you or your co-worker or your doors, you struck as vicious and deadly as only a governor of Illinois could be.
But now, McGarnagle, I have sworn to kill you!
We'll do that later. Now tell us, Governor, why did you do these things?
I hate the doors! Nobody should have them but I. For I am governor, not just of this land, but of America's hearts and minds.
I know your history with doors. The one that robbed you of the Booker Prize.
Just on the basis of that one door, you can't change the way we live. This is America and we are Americans and we believe in freedom of speech. What right had you to silence what that door was saying?
You can't talk like you or I, like human beings.
You racist, McGonagall!
One day I will be king, and I will destroy you all!
But there's no way out that way.
good grief, a door in Chicago?
Maybe I wanted to be caught all along. I gave you all the clues you needed. Took the murder of your prime suspect to convince you. Damn you.
Take him away. Fernando, don't kill him. This man must see true justice in the end. My work here is done.